birds, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for being here. If you don't know who I am, I'm Vanessa-May. I mean, nobody really knows who I am. Why would you know who I am? But anyways, happy Autism Awareness Day. And that's what it is today. The 2nd of April, Autism Awareness Day. And that's what this video is going to be all about. Autism. Because nobody actually knows anything about autism, and I happen to know quite a bit, and I want to talk a bit about it because why not? So number one, what is autism? Because I've heard a lot of different things. Oh, is it just like a mental health issue? Like, does your brain not work? Or, oh, like, they're not functioning properly? Or I've heard a couple of really rude comments like, oh, are they just spastics or retards? I'm like, first of all, we don't call people that. Ever. We don't do that, but we'll get into that. Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder. So I don't even like that word in itself, disorder, because there's nothing wrong with you for being on the autism spectrum. It's about being completely different and not typical, if that makes sense. Some people have watched Atypical, so you might know what autism is, or maybe you've watched Big Bang Theory, and Sheldon Cooper is the person that you always think of when you think of autism. But people don't always think about people who are like me. I'm autistic. I'm on the autism spectrum. I have Asperger's syndrome. But we'll get into that. Like, it's cool. Like, it's only been like 1 minute and I'm already telling you everything. Like, spoiler alert. But anyways, I was telling you, what is autism? It's a neurodevelopmental disorder. So that means you are born with it. You don't grow it. It doesn't come. You're born with it. So autism, or autism spectrum disorder, it is a broad term for people who have difficulties with socializing. Sometimes it can vary from not being able to have non-verbal communication. Sometimes they have a really difficult time with repetitive behavior. They can have a couple of sensory issues. It's a couple of things. It's not just straightforward. It's like a lot of things, but one of the biggest highlighted thing is probably the socialization part of it, because that's the part that most people who have autism struggle with the most. I'll be doing an autism tag. I've got some questions here, and I'll be talking to you a bit about my experience with being autistic and how life's been like for me and etc. But I'll also educate you a bit, because people actually have no idea what it is. Like, I was talking to someone and they were like, oh, is that the same as Down syndrome? And I was like, no. That is also a neurodevelopmental disorder, but it's not the same thing. It's completely different. And people always ask me, like, is it caused by something? Like, sometimes people think, oh, did you fall and hit your head and then you got autism? And I'm like, but no, as I said before, it's literally just, you're born with it. Nothing causes it. That's just who you are. That's what your genes are like. That's who you are. That's it on that. Like, you don't just grow up one day and like, oops, I fell off my bike, I'm autistic. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, I read some comments, I'm like, oh my god. And I might like put some comments about like what I've heard and like what people have said regarding it, because I always wanted to know like what do people think this is, kind of thing. Obviously, because like, not that I've been living in a closet, but like, I don't feel like I need to tell people that from the jump, because people can be really judgmental. I don't want to deal with that. Like, I don't want to. Like, what the hell? Let's just talk about why I wanted to do this video. I wanted to do this video because I haven't really seen many black girls who are autistic at all. Normally, you only see like a white male. People always assume that if you don't look like Sheldon Cooper, or if you don't act like the guy from Atypical, you aren't autistic. Or like, they question you like, are you sure? You're too normal. Are you sure? No, sorry, you're not. You're too confident. No. And I'm like, I don't remember you being a psychiatrist, and I don't remember asking you. Do you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? But yeah, so I think I wanted to do this video from ages ago, but like, I was like, it's been a bit of a tough world out there. But then I thought like, this is the perfect time, because there's so many things to talk about in this world, but why not talk about something that I care about? I was a bit scared just because like, there are loads of people who don't actually know me like that. Like, I have friends who don't know I'm autistic, and I have family who don't know I'm autistic either. So that's a bit scary, but then it's like almost like coming out, almost, because like, yeah, as I said before, I'm coming out of the closet in the sense that you've always had it. As I said before, you're born with it, but now I'm just talking about it, if that makes sense. So the first question, when did you discover that you were autistic? Okay, so I found out last year when I turned like 20, I think, yeah, like when I turned 20. I'm still 20, but I'm going to be 21, May the 19th. Watch out for that. Yeah, but I found out I was autistic when I was 20 years old, very late in comparison to some people who knew from birth. But I literally just thought I was just like, I didn't have a clue, because of course, like, you always know that you're like very, very different from other people, and like the way you do things is just so different. And people used to tease me and say I was really odd and very particular or very like weird. And I knew like I was really different, but I didn't know why I was different. Like, I didn't know why I had such a different social connect from other people. Like, I can be told that I'm quite blunt or quite honest, or like I don't get things, or like I take everything quite literally, or jokes just go over my head. So yeah, like I didn't really know why, if that makes sense. Like, I thought, why am I not like her? Or why don't I act like him? Or why don't I get people of my age group? I didn't get them ever. It just didn't work for me. And like, obviously you grow up and you learn new things and new tricks, so it's almost like you showed what I wanted to show. I basically replicated all the behavior I had seen and used it, more or less. Okay, so what are my special interests? So normally people with autism or on the spectrum have something that is completely very, very interesting to them, something that they're just very, very passionate about, and they talk about it at random times and etc. I have a couple of things through my life. It's been variable amounts of things. Adventure Time is a massive one of them. Steven Universe is also another one of them. I'm absolutely obsessed with those cartoons. I think one of the biggest things for me since I've been a little kid is cartoons. It's always been my gateway drug. If I could say, like, it's definitely been very helpful, because I felt like I can relate more to like cartoons than I can to human beings, which sounds a bit crazy, but yeah. I'm also obsessed with not dark humor, but like dark kind of books. So like The Night She Died, or like those kind of, obviously I'm interested in neuroscience, obviously, duh. Very interested in mental health and stuff like that, so I'm quite peculiar when it comes to that. I really, really, really love Melanie Martinez. I really, really love Hosier. I really love 21 Pilots. I love so many different bands. I'm really obsessed with concerts, really obsessed with music. There's loads of things I'm really obsessed with, but I really, really, really love Adventure Time. And maybe one day I'll do a tour of my room and you'll see how much I'm obsessed with Adventure Time. I'm very, very specific when it comes to my color coordination of things, not in terms of like how I dress, but mainly how like I put things out. So like how my outfits are in my cupboard, and like how my shoes are and how everything's laid out. Like, it's very like formed a very specific way. Okay, so what kind of sensory inputs do you find unpleasant? Right, so there's a couple. I don't have a taste sensory input difficulty. Taste is calm. It doesn't really give me any panic. I'm fine with it. Sound is one of my sensory issues. Like, if I go into a room and I've adjusted to the sound and the frequency, and like I'm adjusted to it, and if someone like pops up, like it gives me quite a big panic. I remember in secondary school, people would be really, really loud on like the bus and stuff, so like I'd always have like earphones in or something like that. But if like the bus would jerk, like I'd freak out and like be very loud about it, because I couldn't understand why the change had happened so instantly. Or sometimes like if I'm with my friends and we're just cooling and we're not actually doing much, and then someone just screams out of nowhere, or like someone makes a noise, or like those kind of things, it puts me off. Touch, it used to be the biggest sensory issue for me. I hated touch. Don't touch me. Don't do it. Like, I'm 20 now, almost 21, so I've grown out of it. But I haven't really grown out of it. I just cope with things a little bit better. Obviously, like, I have a psychotherapist, I talk to her and stuff, so she helps me out with those kind of things. But like, don't touch me if I don't want to be touched, but at the same time, touch me when I want to be touched. If that makes any sense. But yeah, like, yeah, I used to really hate touch. Like, oh my god, it would send me off the rails when I was a teenager, especially like from like maybe like 11 to 16. Oh my god, touching, even if someone brushed past me, like, it really freaked me out. Even like when I go on public transport and people touch me, even though to everyone else, like, I look like just a normal human being, I start to lose it. And I think someone mentioned, they were like, oh, just chill. And I thought, hang on a second, you don't actually know me, so don't tell me to chill. And I remember having like a proper like dispute on the train because why is everyone touching me? Like, that's how I feel, you know, when you get touched when you don't want to be touched. There's that. What are my thoughts on my self-diagnosis? What are thoughts on the diagnosis? Well, I didn't diagnose myself. That's for one. I wouldn't have known I was autistic if it wasn't for my psychotherapist. She basically was like, Vanessa, we think we have to tell you something, because I have two of them. And I was like, what? They're like, we think you may be on the spectrum. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Obviously, I studied neuroscience, so I already knew where it was. So I kind of thought I could be, but I didn't want to put it out there for sure, just because I didn't want to put something out there that wasn't true. But yeah, so she was like, oh yeah, you're autistic. And I was like, cool. I loved it. I was like, yeah, why not? But then we went to an actual autism center. So like psychiatrists, a clinical neuropsychologist, etc. And they speak to you and they do like the whole test and examinations. And then I found out officially I was autistic. I was fine with it for a little bit, but then I wasn't as well, because like I didn't like the whole like, I didn't like what people said about it. That was the problem. The stigma, that was what my biggest problem was. Like people saying you're retarded, people saying you're disabled, seeing how like people, you know, have it really hard at work and stuff, and how like they looked down upon and those kind of things. That was what bothered me. And the fact that according to the government, I'm considered to be disabled when, bitch, I'm abled. I am abled. I am abled. I can do everything that you can do, and I can probably do it better. But whatever, that's just my personal opinion, and it's right. What is one thing you wished everyone knew about autism? What is one thing that I wish everyone knew about autism? That we're not being rude. Like, we're not freaking out just to freak out. Like, we're not making it up. Like, it's real and it's genuine. I think that's one of the main things. Like, it's not like we're seeking your attention. I couldn't give a shit about your attention. A panic attack to amuse you? No, trust me, if I could just skip that part of my life, I would. And also to be very sensitive, because you don't know what someone's going through. Yeah. Describe a place or a room that would be sensory hell to you. Crowded room of loud people. That would be hell to me. Crowded room with loud people. Sometimes when I go out with my friends, and we go to parties that I actually don't want to be at, like, I can literally just have a breakdown, because it's just too much for me. Like, it's just, and I can literally just switch off. I'll cry for no reason. To you, it's for no reason, but to me, it's like, it's overwhelming. There's too many people around. There's too many people touching me. There's too much noises. There's just too much. There's too much chitter. There's too much music. There's too much. You know, that would be hell for me. Do you have other mental health issues? I used to be diagnosed as being clinically depressed. And now I'm not. I still take antidepressants, but I'm not depressed. Like, bitch, I'm happy-ish. Is that linked to autism? Well, yeah, to some extent. I mean, I feel like if I knew earlier, I wouldn't have had as many problems. Like, I wouldn't have felt like I was such an outlandish person or an outcast or weird. I would have just been like, I'm just autistic. That's lit. You couldn't have told me this maybe like, I don't know, 20 years ago, because it would have made my life so much easier. When it's like, when you're in nursery and when you're in not secondary school. Let's skip that part of my life. When you're in primary school, it's fine, because no one was mean to me in primary school and nursery. Like, I was actually very, very popular. Like, it was such a great time. But secondary school, bitches hate you for no reason. And maybe because I was just very outspoken, and that's just who I am. And that's just part of it. What are some of the autism related problems you also often have in your everyday life? I'm particular, and people don't respect that. Like, what is mine. I think that's one of my biggest problems. Like, if, for instance, this brush is mine, I don't want you to touch it because that's my brush. This is mine. So why are you touching it? Because it's mine. But some people don't get that. They're like, grow up, like, let it be. But I'm not going to grow up and let it be because it's my brush. That kind of thing. Those are the problems I have. People being really insensitive all the time, like, and just little comments like, what the heck? What do I like about being autistic? Oh, girl, there's loads of things I like about it. I like the fact that I can notice change faster than anybody else. Mainly because I hate change. That's why I can really, like, I know straight away. You change? Oh, I know. There's a change in the room. Oh, I know. You're being fake. Oh, I know. I know. No, I'm not bragging, but like I can sense an off person from a mile away. So that's one thing I really like. I also like that like it made me gifted and talented. I guess like I guess the way I see the world is completely different to a normal person, and I really like that. I really do like that a lot because it makes me who I am. What do I dislike? Nothing really. I don't really dislike anything about it. The only thing I dislike is that I didn't know earlier. If there was a cure, would you take it? No, because why should I be cured? I'm perfectly fine the way I am. So I don't need to be cured. I don't need a fix. I'm fine. This is one of my biggest issues, you know. I hate this shit. This is just who I am and I love it. Like, what the heck? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helps. I hope you understand a bit more about people who are autistic and that we come in all shapes and sizes and we come in all different colors and we are all extremely different. I am nothing like Sheldon Cooper. Thank you. I'm nothing like him. Even though people used to tell me that in secondary school, you are wrong. I'm not. I am unique and I'm me. So yeah, that's it really. Have a great day. Thank you so much for coming to my channel.